In this video, we're going to read about minerals and rocks. Minerals and rocks of which planet? It's about Earth. The Earth is composed of various kinds of elements. If you look at the figure, you can see top elements and their percentages. Apart from these elements, there are other elements as well, like hydrogen, phosphorus, manganese, sulfur, carbon, nickel, but they are found in less percentage. Now, what is the difference between minerals and rocks? First of all, you must know that minerals are found in rocks, and these rocks are found in Earth's crust. But then a rock has more than one type of mineral. That's why we need to extract them. We cannot simply take a piece of rock and say, hey, I've got so and so mineral. Mineral has one specific chemical composition, whereas the rock is a collection of different minerals. Just remember this. Now, it is a known fact that Earth's lithosphere, that is the crust and upper mantle, consists of limited elements. That's why if you look at the periodic table, you'll find only these many elements. They're about 118 to 120, something like that. So the point is, we have limited elements. Now these limited elements combines in many different ways to form variety of minerals. Let me give you an example. You have heard of this mineral called magnetite, right? It is one of the oxides of iron. And if you look at its chemical formula, it's Fe3O4, meaning it has iron and oxygen elements in certain ratio. So this is what I meant when I said elements are limited, but these limited elements combines in different ways to form minerals. So far we have around 2000 minerals that are known and identified in the earth crust. Now the main question is, what is the source of all these minerals? Well, for that we have to go to the interior of the earth's surface, where the hot magma exists. When the hot magma comes out of the surface, it cools and then solidifies. As a result, it turns into rocks with crystals of minerals on it. And like this, series of minerals are formed as the rock cools down further and further. Now let's quickly understand the physical characteristics of minerals. Minerals have been divided under these categories, so we will quickly go through each one of them. Now if you look at minerals close enough, all you will see is these tiny bits and pieces of crystals. So talking about physical characteristics of minerals, we are going to refer to these tiny bits of crystals. The first one is external crystal form. By this we mean external shape of an individual crystal, and what looks outside is a direct reason behind how it is formed inside. We know everything is made up of atoms, and a group of atoms bonded together is called molecule. Therefore, the internal arrangement of molecules of a crystal is the reason behind the external look of a crystal. The internal arrangement of molecules could be in the form of cubes, octahedrons, hexagonal prisms, etc. The second one is cleavage. When a crystal breaks, it happens due to fracturing or by cleaving. There will be a split along a smooth plane, and it occurs because of the structural weakness, meaning the internal molecular arrangement of that particular area of the crystal is weak, and that causes a crack. The third property is fracture. Now fracture and cleaving is almost same, but the only difference is cleaving happens at a plane area of a crystal and fracture takes place in a non-plane area. Cleaving is a fine crack that is a smooth and almost a perfect crack, but a fracture is not a smooth one. It is rough and not uniform. Again, fracture also happens because of the structural weakness, meaning the internal molecular arrangement of that particular area of the crystal is weak, and that causes a crack. The fourth one is luster. The meaning of the word luster is shine, bright, or polished. Each mineral has a different luster. Some are metallic, silky, then glossy, etc. It totally depends on the color of mineral. Because of the color, light is reflected from a mineral's external surface, and that's what makes it sparkle. The fifth one is color. So how do we as human perceive color? How do we know it's blue, red, yellow, green, brown, black color? When different wavelengths of visible light falls on our eyes, that's how we see different colors. Now when light falls upon crystal of a mineral, some wavelengths are absorbed by the atoms of the crystal, while others are reflected. Those ones which are reflected from the mineral's surface, when they enter our eyes, that's how we perceive the color of a mineral. Now depending upon the molecular structure of the mineral's crystals, wavelengths of light is reflected accordingly, and that's how we find the color of a mineral to be white, green, red, yellow. The sixth one is streak. Now streak is the color of a mineral substance when it has been grounded to a fine powder. So two minerals that have similar color on the outside may have different colors when they are powdered. For example, Hematite and galena. We can easily get confused when we look at their color. It's gray color. However, hematite streak is blood red, while galena streak is lead gray. The seventh property of a mineral is transparency. When a light ray passes through an object, it is called transparent. But if the light ray gets diffused, that is called translucent. And if the light ray does not pass at all through an object, it is called opaque. Therefore, some minerals are transparent while others are opaque or translucent. The degree of transparency usually depends on the thickness of the mineral. The eighth one is structure. Mineral crystals occur in various shapes and sizes. Again, we have read this. The structural shape and size of a mineral crystal is due to the internal arrangement of molecules, meaning how they are joined. And this is called the crystal lattice. The ninth property is hardness. Now, hardness is one of the better properties of minerals to use for identifying a mineral. Hardness is a measure of the mineral's resistance to scratching. The Mohs scale is a set of 10 minerals whose hardness is known. The softest mineral is talc, which has a Mohs scale rating of 1. Diamond is the hardest mineral and has a rating of 10. Softer minerals can be scratched by harder minerals because the forces that holds the crystals together are weaker and can be broken by harder minerals. The last property is specific gravity. Now, specific gravity of a mineral is a comparison or ratio of the weight of the mineral to the weight of an equal volume of water. The weight of the equal volume of water is found by finding the difference between the weight of the mineral in air and the weight of the mineral in water. So these were some of the physical properties of a mineral. And I think I should have told you in the beginning as to why we need to know them. So let me just quickly answer that. The reason we need to know the physical properties or characteristics of a mineral is because when we study a particular mineral, we can use them to make products we use in our day-to-day life. Everything around us contains minerals, from buildings to roads, then food to water, everything has minerals. So that's why we need to study them. Minerals are of two types. They are metallic and non-metallic minerals. Now we're going to read about metallic minerals. Of course, by the name we can figure out that these are minerals that contain metal, and they are also subdivided into three types. The first one is precious metals, like gold, silver, platinum. I don't need to tell you why they are called precious metals. The second one is ferrous metals. The letter Fe in ferrous is the IUPAC name for iron. So ferrous metals have iron content. That's all you have to remember. The third one is non-ferrous metals. Now these metals do not have any iron content. They include metals like copper, lead, zinc, tin, aluminium, etc. So these were the metallic minerals. Now let's look at the non-metallic minerals. Now these minerals do not contain metal content. Of course, if it is opposite of metallic, then they will not have metals. Now some of the examples of non-metallic minerals are sulfur, phosphate, and nitrate. And cement is a fine example of non-metallic mineral. Now we're going to talk about the second important topic in this chapter, that is rocks. This chapter is about minerals and rocks, and we are done with the minerals part. Now it is about rocks. Now if you have seen my video, that is different layers of earth, you will find the link in the description. In that, if you have known anything, that would be this simple fact that our earth consists of rocks. It is through rocks that we have known whatever that is we know about our earth. Now earlier in this chapter, we have read how minerals are found in rocks. Therefore, it is also reasonable to say that rocks consist of minerals. Rocks are hard as well as soft, and they are also of different color. But one important aspect that you must remember is that a rock does not have one single mineral content. It has a combination of different minerals. Feldspar and quartz are the most common minerals found in rocks. Now, quartz is found in igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rocks, while feldspar is found only in granite. By the way, petrology is the study of rocks. They study about mineral composition, texture, structure, origin, occurrence, alteration, and relationship with other rocks. Now, if you become a geographer, you'll need a basic understanding of rocks, because that's how you will get to know the landform and probably the Earth's surface. So rocks are categorized under three families on the basis of the mode of formation. They are igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. Let's understand each one of them. So the first one is igneous rock. Now igneous rocks are formed out of magma and lava from the interior of the earth. So magma is also called molten rock, and it is found in the mantle of the Earth. If you remember this pic showing the different layers of Earth, mantle is filled with magma, and when magma comes out of the surface, it cools down and becomes solid. That's how the igneous rocks are born. Now, igneous rock is also known as primary rock because it is formed from magma, so anything that is formed right from the core ingredient of the Earth has to be called as primary rock. The word igneous is derived from a Latin word called ignis, which means fire. Now, mantle is filled with magma, and when magma comes out of the surface, it cools down and becomes solid. That's how igneous rocks are formed. So, mantle is in a way a fire. The process of cooling and solidification can happen both in the Earth's crust as well as on the